was actually some drama I didn't cover because I'm not on Twitter and I forgot. But we got to take a look at it. We're going to yap about it. Now, there is an individual on Twitter that is a VTuber that used to be pretty decent. It was pretty funny. It was an animator, I believe. But he has started to become a grifter. If you don't know what grifting is, it's basically he is entitling his opinions and speaking out about things just to follow the hate crowd and following crowds generally so he can be more liked. Now, this shit has backfired him pretty heavily because we are talking about an individual called Joe Katz. Now, if you don't know, Joe Katz is a grifter. And 2 years ago, I believe, or 1 year ago, he joined the gang of haters hating on Silvervale and Pikami and other people because they played Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, can you believe that? Now, we're going to take a look at it because they're in a little bit of a spicy drama situation. Let's take a quick peek.
Okay, let's go to Joe Cat. So you guys have probably already seen this. It's circulated on the usual drama tuber.
Yeah.
The drama tuber channel. So
Drama.
But, as if news and information and critical analysis is drama. Okay, sure. So you've got Joe Cat here. So who has a very large X account. And by the way, if this was a small account, I wouldn't do this, but this is a very large account. This is a very large account that has a lot of followers on X. So I'm like, all right, a lot of people saw this and were subject to this brain dead kind of take here. So I want to get in here and I want to, I have a sliver of empathy for what they thought they were trying to do, but they completely missed the mark. And let me explain why.
I will let him talk and then I will give you my thoughts, guys.
Proud of VTubers slowly but surely breaking down the idol culture roots of VTubing, showing your face, being open about having a partner, keeping the parasocialness in check. I think it's healthier overall. Okay, let's talk about this really quick.
Actually, you know what I want to say before we go through this? So I actually have a disagreement with one of my friends about this, but he's not a VTuber. Now, there's a friend of mine called Zach that streams a lot, and he thinks this is good. He thinks it's good that VTubers are going away from it because it's cringe. And a lot of these things are cringe, and I can agree with it. And if you don't know, VTubers stems from idol culture. VTubers are idols. And I think, I will say it right now, this is my strong opinion. I've said this actually for a long time. Every time we get these thoughts, these discussions, I don't think you step away from the idol, like the idea of idolism. I don't think you are like a proper VTuber. Now, you might have a VTuber model, but I don't think you really are like stepping into the circle of the VTuber kind of culture in itself because it's part of idol culture. I think that VTubing now is split into different segments. Now, I'm not saying that, oh my God, you have a relationship. Oh my God, you are talking about your partner and showing your face. You are no longer a VTuber. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is that the origin of VTubing is definitely the whole idea of it is transcribed and folded up from idol culture. And it's literally a duplicate and a translation to the virtual world with the model. It's the same thing, but once you start stepping away from that path, I do think you're still using a VTuber model. You're still whatever you are, whatever you feel like. I think it becomes a subculture, and you are now doing something completely different, and that's fine. And that's nothing. Naming things does not really matter. But I do not believe, if I'm making sense now, I do not believe that VTubing can ever break down out of the idol culture roots because it is literally a part of it. It literally is idol culture. And I will think that parasocial, like baiting parasocialism is kind of cringe. I get it. You don't like it. These two are connected. Viewers being very like crazy about someone having a partner. I get it. You can maybe find it very wild. And showing your face is deluding yourself and moving away from the character. Would I show my face? Probably. I really do not care. But at the same time, I have personal respect toward my character self. And I kind of would like to sit with this now for that, but I wouldn't. I've even thought about it like 2 days ago. I thought about it. What about if I could just go on stream with a camera? What about if I just go on stream and we'll do something outside? What about that? Like, what if I just do that? I would not care. I would not give a shit. But at the same time, I think that in some way you should respect the medium you are trying to provide with, you know? And I think I try to respect a little bit my character. And there's nothing wrong with somebody that doesn't do it. But trying to say that there is something bad about following the VTubing term, the idol culture itself, is not the way to go. I think that if people want to be a proper VTuber, they shall have it. And if you want to start stepping away from those tools and try to go to those subcultures and reveal more yourself, talk more about your partner, or trying to completely like push away this parasocial idea, that's completely fine by yourself as well. That's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. But I think it's cringe to do these things and talk about these and complain about these things. It's like, it's pointless. This is a pointless thing to talk about. It's like if I'm going to talk about cheese and oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, we are moving away from the dairy and the cheese. Oh, thank God. You know what I mean? Like, there are cheese that are not dairy product, but just my point B is that it's the core component of what it is. And I think that you trying to discredit or push it, like try to put a negative rep of what the actual thing is made of, what it actually is, you're kind of fooling yourself there. I don't think this is a point of view people want to like trying to discuss, and I don't even understand why we want to discuss it. It is what it is. Let it be what it is. You want to do something else, do whatever, fuck.
Okay. So I don't know what position.
I hope I made sense, because bro.
And clearly it seems like he hasn't been around in VTubing for very long to understand why those are there. So
yeah, I think so too.
You know, when he says kind of proud of VTubers, it's funny because he doesn't even know the history. So how can you be proud of them if you don't know where they came from? You really can't be proud at all. And, you know, yes, there are roots in idol culture, and obviously the Japanese companies that control generally the Japanese market, at least. And, you know, they have a large global reach, Nijisanji, Anycolor, etc. Anycolor, Hololive, Cover Corp, etc. Obviously, they do base their format of their companies similar to idol culture, but it's not one for one, right? Well, Niji has a little bit more of a physical presence requirement, but it's not nearly the same level as the idol culture.
That is also the thing. Like, the thing is that VTubing is idol culture, but it's still a substance. Like, it's still something, a subgroup that came from it. VTubing is not as restricted and bad as idol culture in itself. Idol culture is really brutal. It's actually very sad if you get into it. It's extremely rough, and I don't think anybody genuinely think it's good. Like, even I have a lot of K-pop fans in my community, and I think we've had this discussion many times, because like a lot of people care about the talents, and whenever they hear how things are going, how these work, they feel bad for them, because they understand that there's a lot to it. And I think anyone with a sense of mind can understand that this is not a good thing. So when we say that VTubers are idols, or we say that idol culture, like what idol culture is, it's not what we're saying is good. We're just saying it is what it is, you know?
It's particularly in the past. Now, showing your face, let's start with that one. Showing your face. Okay, so here's my thing with showing your face. So
there's his face.
If you want to show your face, whatever. But to me, especially what makes a VTuber is that you're not doing that. Now,
exactly.
If you choose to do that, that's fine. It's your own decision. That's cool.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the point of it. So you know what? You know how an idol is, as they are definitely more of an expression of themselves, and also like added more imagery to be looking better or acting better, because that is their branding. And that's the same thing for VTubing, man.
And that's fine. And I like a lot of VTubers that I see their face in their VTubing avatar, like Kason, right? I really like Kason a lot, perhaps a great deal, right? And there's some others that show their face or part of their face, and it's fine. It ends up being okay, right?
It's fine,
Like
yeah,
they'll
yeah,
wear a
whatever.
mask like over the bottom of their face, so they won't show their whole face, and it turns out to be okay. But that needs to be a very carefully thought out choice. And I need to explain this. I need to tell you guys something that actually happened in the last 24 hours.
Ooh.
So I literally had an email. Well, I don't want to say an email. There's several messages, right? In different platforms. It's not just one.
Damn.
And I want to be very careful because I want to keep everybody anonymous here, and I don't want anything to get weird. So it's hard for me to keep things in a stealthy way. But let's say it this way. Somebody approached me wanting me to essentially dox VTubers for them.
Call the police. The call the police. That's all that's what you got to do. Essentially, whatever, call the police.
Let me put it that's the simplest way to put it. Right now, I think their intentions, they say their intentions were pure. They say
there's no pure intention by doxing. There's none. You are taking information somebody has and you're giving it out. There's no good intention here. It's their choice if they want to share that information, not yours.
I was their friend. Oh, I'm their longtime friend, right?
Nobody gives a shit. It doesn't matter. If you're not like a family member, it doesn't matter. Like that argument does not sit by a long time or friend. That does not work. If you're a family member, it's another matter.
I just want to know this information for these good reasons. But it's pretty insane to me that I am not even a VTuber myself. I'm not yet a VTuber myself. We're about 7,000 subs from changing that. But somebody wanted me to dig into the information that I may or may not have.
Even as a family member, that's borderline. Yeah, it depends on the circumstance, right? But like nobody would do like this. It's point B is that the only one that can kind of make a choice for somebody else in any regard is usually a family member, like a close family member. Usually. A friend or longtime friend does not matter. Friendship can break easily.
To try to dox two VTubers. I didn't even respond to this email.
Like it was, dude.
Right? But this was a very lengthy email. And I think people don't understand the lengths to which people will go to try to get people's information. And it is very serious and very deep. And even if their intentions were pure, I would never do that because how the fuck am I supposed to know, right? How am I supposed to know you have good intentions? And
this is, by the way, another thing I kind of separated myself from social media from. Because I relate myself to drama content, like in a way I react to it, I talk about it, I give it both sides. I don't really create any drama content. I kind of just make content around it. I don't really relate myself to it in any sort of way, but I speak about it. I've had people actually send me messages like this. Talk about this guy is doing this and giving me their personal info. Talking about that. Like, it's actually nuts. What people are yapping about. Like, it is nuts what people can send to random VTubers or random people in the field discussing these things. I think it's disgusting. It's weird. And that's why in many ways, like I think that any young sprint VTuber getting into the scene will really do get discouraged to involve themselves within anything whenever they get a very good footprint in. I've noticed that a lot of large VTubers struggle actually with being more on social media or being live after they have granted success. And I think that there's a lot of background reasons because there's a lot of reasons like this that makes them just not wish to even want to be a part of it, which makes sense.
Frankly, from my standpoint, if they wanted to tell you their identity, they would do it themselves.
True.
Why do I need to dox somebody to you because you want to help them or support them or be their friend? That's That doesn't make logical sense. I can't square that. If someone wanted you to have their personal contact information, they would give that to you. If someone wanted them to know your name or they want to share their name, they would have given that to you. So there's no reason to go to a third party. Pretty fucking insane, right? And this
True, Dave.
this is actually a serious danger. And I think a lot of people like Joe Cat here don't realize that this is kind of in the online world, and this applies to both, you know, e-girls and to VTubers and to even streamers like myself, which people make threats to me, threats to my family, threats to my business, threats to everything. They call me all sorts of nasty names, and there's a lot of stuff I open myself up to because I show my face, right? If I didn't show my face, people would be a lot less privy to the information about me, where I'm from, name, docs, all of that sort of stuff, right? And there's a huge risk of that because, of course, you have photos of you out there somewhere. If you're a millennial and up, you have photos on the internet, even Gen X, you have photos on the internet that are archived that people can go back and find your face and figure out who it is. Do not doubt the power of internet autism and unlimited time. People will find you.
I remember, dude, I have seen enough 4chan threads where they literally work better than the FBI itself. You do not underestimate that at all. I love 4chan, but dude, man, I think that 4chan gives you the idea of how people can work, how much going on in the world, and many other things, which is like weird because I feel like Reddit never gave me that idea in any sort of way. It's kind of insane how like how much, like, I mean, if you put your head into it, you really can get far. And it can be scary for people that worry about stuff like that, for sure. I was part of it. You were part of it. Capture the flag. I was part of it. God damn, dude, I remember, dude, this is crazy how many things they've done. Y'all remember when they got John Paul to go to like some, where was it again? There was like some voting bullshit, and they got John Paul to go over there to Sean Paul. Yeah, dude, he's not been active for a while. The singer, not the Pope. You're right. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, he went to some grocery store in an area there were just like 50 population or some bullshit. It was crazy.
Come to your house
because 4chan sent like millions of votes for him to go over there or some bullshit. I don't remember what it was.
All your business. Absolutely that. And then let's go to the second one, because this ties in here. Being open about having a partner. Okay, let's talk about that. And this is something I can say that even me, I can be guilty of oversharing. And I've actually tried to undershare, even though it's hard because I want to tell certain stories, but I can't. I just can't tell the story because it's an overshare. You really need to be careful about your personal life, because once again, when it comes to stalking or people with malicious intent or people that are nasty, they will not limit coming after you. They're going to come after your partner, right? Whether that's a man, woman, octopus, whatever the
my octopus doing, right? Will be saved, guys.
You know, whatever you're doing. It's not own a hole, whatever it is, right? You married and own a hole, I don't know. So that's on you, bro. But anyways, they'll come after them. And oftentimes, if you're a streamer or VTuber, your partner did not choose this life. You choose this life. That's your life.
That is the thing people talk about a lot. Like, a lot of people hide their by the way, I'm single. A lot of people, even streamers that are not even VTuber, hide their partners because they don't, their online life does not have anything to do with them. And I think that in many ways, internet degeneracy and internet behavior can be a little bit overwhelming for them because they're just normal. They just vibe. They just do other things. When they go to the internet, they go on Facebook and write their mom or friends, and then they watch Netflix and YouTube. They don't really do more. So all this shit that's going on the internet, they don't really get it. So it can be a little bit overwhelming. So you don't really want to share that information or let them even take a look at it because it's not for them.
So you involving them is getting them involved in something they never signed up for.
True.
And if you and while you might tell them, let's say you told your boyfriend or girlfriend or wife, husband, whatever, you said, "Hey, babe, I'm a streamer. Can I talk about you on my stream?" They might just be like, "Sure." But they won't think, well, what if someone calls their job? So now you've got someone calling your wife's job, or your wife's university, or your wife's kid, or let's say you have kids, they're stalking your kids, they're going to your kids' schools, right? There's all sorts of things. And I'm going to show you something here that really, to me, kind of epitomizes this. It's pretty crazy, actually. This was a pick of me, and now this is actually pretty sensitive content, so little content warning right here. Real quick, this is the type of harassment that you can get. This is posted by Flamenco TV. Shout out to Flamenco. It says, gotta love the guy who thinks picking me getting harassment like this over playing a video game has the audacity to say that parasocialness is kept in check. So this is a guy right here, Boney Bon, with I'll leave the icons there for you. Me in Pickamee's house activating her webcam and then filming me brutally deleting her while her avatar just smiles because it doesn't detect anything in the chat as an emote mode. And then, of course, he has a horrific, drawing there. But the point of the matter is that that's the sort of unhinged that you can have to deal with. That is fucking insane, right? And nobody deserves to deal with that. And imagine your partner having to deal with that. Imagine your wife having to deal with that, or your children having to deal with that. Nobody should have to deal with that. Nobody should have to deal with that if they don't choose that life. Now, listen, I chose this life of putting my face out there so people, they do whatever they're going to do. I have no power over it. So I can't really get mad at that because I chose to put my face out there and, put myself out there. But people need to really think about this, and exposing your partner to this may not be the best idea. And then you have people that might be going and stalking them or doing all sorts of crazy stuff, whether it's like lighthearted harassment, quote unquote, or serious death threats. These things can really escalate. And I think it's something that you need to think very seriously about, especially in 2025, as people are incredibly unhinged.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't ready for that. And
the thing is that I saw that on the Reddit, FBI is getting involved into Reddit threats now, which is pretty great. I think they should do that for both Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and TikTok as well. I think that more authority should go through these kind of things and take them seriously. Honestly, like you think that because you haven't hidden, if you're anonymous, like it's the authorities can still figure out what's going on.
It's inconsiderate.
Yeah, Reddit went too far. No, this is normal behavior on the internet. No. I would say you could see this everywhere, but yeah, Reddit did go too far. I would agree, but I feel like you can see this everywhere. And I think that the more further we go in the future, the more there will be authorities involved, because this is still a nuance for the governments and stuff like that everywhere in the world.
Of those people. And then, of course, you have...
We went from memeing the police, memeing the internet police, to actually calling them, pretty much.
Of, talking about parasocialness, obviously, parasocialness is a problem, right? But there's very much still many folks that do court that, play into that, play on that. And there's a certain, I would say, harmless level of, or lighter level that's maybe you say below parasocial, but sort of you're entering into into an escape, which is fine, which is what we all want to do when we play video games or anime. When I'm watching like Shangri-La Frontier, I can imagine like being in that game, right? Being in a video game, right? It's an escape. It's you want to visualize another world, and I get that, and that's part of being in it. When you're with the VTubers, you're like kind of in their world, in whether it's Minhera or whether it's Saiso. Either way, you're in their world. But I don't think he knows the first thing about it. And he actually ended up admitting, and this is where I want to be very, very, very clear about this. He did admit that he was wrong and uninformed. So this is from Mr. Kangaroo. Thank you, Mr. Kangaroo, who said, who gave me this. I don't think that tweet would have upset so many people. I did not realize that tweet would upset so many people. I know now that it was a poor misunderstanding about important aspects of VTubing, and I am sorry. I appreciate folks coming to my defense, but regardless, I think it is a sign I shouldn't post opinions about VTubing, especially if they are ill-informed, which I now know I was. So At least he admits that. So I mean, once again, I never encourage people to like attack people or swarm people or whatever, and certainly apologize. So I don't think he deserves or should be like swarmed or attacked, or like people should comment, send hate comments to him or something like that.
I don't think you should resolve to the same hate he has done in any sort of way, but I think you should ignore him more. That's pretty much it. I think he definitely is a grifter, and he got a lot of backlash because of it. Like a lot of people say fuck him. But I think the better thing is just to ignore and move away. I don't think you should attack hate with hate, personally. That's not my view. But yeah, VTuber is better for escapism. Yeah, that's another thing people don't think about. Like, people become VTuber also just to escape. Like you play a video game, you kind of try to escape real world and just relax. Why can't a VTuber escape themselves for a little bit and just play the VTuber model and their character? Or just be like a different version of themselves, or be an exaggerated version of themselves, where they can just start thinking about the stream and the content and just be the model and let that be. They don't want to have an association with themselves with that model in that sort of sense. And there's other things, like it could be mental reasons, Like, it doesn't have to be all about these grim things and all about security and all. It could also just be like, I just want to relax, man. I just want to vibe. I'm just having fun. Other people are having fun looking at this. That's great. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. It's fine. There's millions of other content creators out there. Millions. Thousands of millions of VTubers as well now. That's crazy. So yeah.
But at least he apologized. So I can respect that, right? I have a level of respect for somebody who has the ability to apologize and to learn from their mistakes.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think this guy has kind of tried to learn from his mistake like a little bit many times now. I'll be real, y'all. I'm gonna be real. Like, at some point, you gotta calm down, bro. You gotta stop with these tweets. You gotta just calm down. But yeah, you tell me down below what you think about this, man. It's a little bit more of a thoughtful topic. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you think. Like the video if you enjoy it. Sub to the channel if you watch more. If you up with me live, you're free to come by my Twitch channel on twitch.tv/Ali. I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.